This man controls one of the most powerful countries in the Middle East. He commands a military with ballistic missiles and drones. He funds militias across Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. He's developing nuclear capabilities that terrify the West. Iran's president? Just a figurehead. The real power, absolute power, belongs to him. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, supreme leader of Iran. He's ruled for 35 years, longer than most dictators, and when he dies, the entire Middle East could explode. But he wasn't born powerful. He was a bookish student who became a revolutionary. This is his story. Act 1. The Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is born on April 19, 1939, in Mashhad, Iran's second-largest city. His father is a low-level cleric, poor but respectable. Young Ali grows up religious and studious. He memorizes the Quran, studies Islamic theology. He's quiet, serious, bookish. Not the type you'd expect to lead a revolution. Shah's Iran, modernization, Western influence, but he's also angry. Iran is ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, backed by America. The Shah is modernizing Iran, but he's also a dictator. His secret police, Savak, torture and kill dissidents. The Shah embraces Western culture, while most Iranians remain poor. And religious. Young Khomeini attends religious seminaries. In Qom, Iran's religious center, he studies under Grand Ayatollah Khomeini, a firebrand cleric openly critical of the Shah. Protests, unrest in 1970s Iran. By the 1970s, Khomeini is involved in underground opposition. He's not a major leader, but he's committed. He gives secret lectures criticizing the Shah. He helps organize protests. The Shah exiles Khomeini to Iraq. This makes Khomeini a martyr and radicalizes his followers, including Khomeini. Khomeini's arrests. Khomeini is arrested multiple times. Tortured by Savak. 6 months in prison here. A year there. Each time, he becomes more radical. More committed to revolution. 1979, revolution begins. By 1978, Iran is exploding. Massive protests against the Shah. Millions in the streets. The army starts defecting. The Shah panics. January 16, 1979. The Shah flees Iran. 2 weeks later, Ayatollah Khomeini returns from exile in triumph. The revolution has won. Khomeini during revolution, in crowds, giving speeches. Khomeini isn't a top leader yet, but he's trusted. He's a Khomeini loyalist. He helped organize the revolution in Mashhad. And now, there are positions to fill in. The new Islamic Republic. Khomeini starts his climb to power. Act 2. The CLIB, the revolution succeeded. But now what? Iran needs a new government. And Khomeini needs people he can trust. Khomeini is appointed to several positions. Representative to the Revolutionary Council. Friday prayer leader in Tehran. A hugely influential position in Islamic Iran. Commander of the Revolutionary Guard in some regions. He's rising fast. Why? He's loyal. He's not ambitious for himself. He just wants to serve the revolution. In a system full of competing egos, Khomeini is the reliable soldier. Iran-Iraq War begins 1980. Then in September 1980, Iraq invades Iran. Saddam Hussein thinks revolutionary Iran is weak and chaotic. He wants to seize Iran's oil-rich Khuzestan province. The Iran-Iraq War begins. It will last 8 years and kill 1 million people. Khomeini during the war. Khomeini becomes a war leader. He's not commanding armies. He's a cleric, not a general, but he's rallying support. Giving fiery sermons. Convincing young men to volunteer for the front. Assassination attempt. June 1981. June 27, 1981. Khomeini is giving a speech in Tehran. A bomb hidden in a tape recorder explodes right next to him. He survives, barely. His right arm is permanently paralyzed. Shrapnel damages his lung. He'll be in pain for the rest of his life. His damaged arm, you can see it in every photo after 1981. His right arm hangs limply. It barely moves. The assassination attempt didn't kill him, but it marked him forever, and it made him more radical, more paranoid, more convinced that enemies are everywhere. August 1981, President dies. 6 weeks after Khomeini's bombing, another bomb kills Iran's president and prime minister. The revolution is decapitating itself. Khomeini needs a new president, someone loyal, someone trustworthy, someone who survived an assassination attempt and kept going. Khomeini becomes president, October 1981. October 1981. Ali Khamenei, at age 42, becomes president of Iran. For 8 years, he serves as president. But here's the key. In Iran's system, the president isn't the most powerful person. The supreme leader is, and that's Khomeini. Khomeini is president, but Khomeini is the boss. Khomeini learns to be a loyal number two, to never challenge Khomeini, to implement decisions without question. This obedience will serve him well. Act 3. The SUCCSA's Ion by 1988. Ayatollah Khomeini is 79 years old and dying. Cancer. Heart problems. He won't last much longer. The question everyone is asking: who will be the next supreme leader? There's a problem. According to Iran's constitution, the supreme leader must be a Maria, a grand Ayatollah, one of the most senior religious scholars in Shia Islam. Khomeini isn't a grand Ayatollah. He's just a mid-ranking cleric. His religious credentials aren't strong enough, but he has other qualities. He's loyal. He's been president for 8 years without causing trouble. He's not threatening to other power centers. The revolutionary guard trusts him. He's conservative enough for hardliners, but not so extreme he scares moderates. Backroom dealing. Behind the scenes, deals are made. The Constitution is revised. The requirement to be a grand Ayatollah is quietly dropped. Suddenly, Khomeini is eligible. June 3, 1989. Khomeini dies. June 3, 1989. Khomeini dies. Iran erupts in mourning. Millions attend his funeral. His casket is literally torn apart by mourners trying to touch it. June 4, 1989. Khomeini selected. 1 day later, June 4, 1989. The Assembly of Experts meets. They select the new supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. His transformation. Overnight, he goes from president to supreme leader. From number 2 to number 1. From implementer to decision maker. And he'll hold this position for the next 35 years and counting. But what does supreme leader actually mean? Act 4. The supreme Velayat-e. The president is elected, but the supreme leader is appointed for life. And the supreme leader has the real power. Khomeini controls the military, all of it, the regular army and the Revolutionary Guard, the judiciary. He appoints the head judge, state television and radio. All broadcasting controlled. The Guardian Council. 12 clerics who approve or reject all laws and decide who can run for office. Friday prayer leaders across Iran. They spread his message every week. Half of the economy. Through religious foundations and vineyards that control billions. Nuclear facilities, missiles, and most importantly, Iran's nuclear program. Iran's ballistic missiles. Iran's support for militias across the Middle East. Hezbollah in Lebanon. Militias in Iraq. The Houthis in Yemen. Assad in Syria. The president of Iran? He's basically Khomeini's employee. The president can suggest policies, but Khomeini decides. Reform versus hardline presidents under Khomeini. And Khomeini has seen presidents come and go. reformist presidents who wanted to open to the West. Khomeini blocked them. Hardline presidents who wanted confrontation. Khomeini let them bark, but kept control. What does Khomeini believe? He's deeply anti-American. He calls America the Great Satan regularly. He's anti-Israel, calls for Israel's destruction, funds groups fighting Israel, but he's also pragmatic. When Iran's economy suffered from sanctions, he quietly allowed negotiations. The 2015 nuclear deal? Khamenei approved it, though he never trusted it. Unlike some dictators, Khomeini doesn't live in obvious luxury. He presents himself as a simple cleric. Modest home, modest clothes, no flashy cars or palaces. But his family? They control billions through foundations and businesses. His son Mojtaba is reportedly being groomed as successor, and his health is failing. Cancer surgery in 2014. Prostate issues. He's 85 years old, frail. His death could come any time, and when it does, what happens? ACT5. The succession Shia's Khamenei is dying. Slowly, but dying. And there's no clear successor. Officially, the Assembly of Experts will choose the next supreme leader. 88 elderly clerics. But they're not independent. The Guardian Council, controlled by Khomeini, decides who can run for the assembly. It's a rigged system. But even rigged systems can malfunction. Possible successors. Who might succeed Khomeini? His son, Mojtaba Khomeini? He's being positioned, but there's resistance. Iran's not supposed to be a monarchy. Hereditary succession would be too blatant. Ebrahim Raisi was president until he died in a helicopter crash in May 2024. He was the frontrunner. Now he's gone. The Revolutionary Guard might just take over directly. Why pretend with clerics when they have the guns? Protests. Green Movement 2009, 2022, Mahsa Amini. Meanwhile, regular Iranians are getting restless. The 2009 Green Movement protests. The 2019 fuel price protests. The 2022 Mahsa Amini protests after a young woman died in custody of the morality police. Each time, the regime cracks down brutally. But each time, the anger grows. Women, young people, young Iranians don't remember the revolution. They don't care about fighting America or Israel. They want jobs, freedom, the internet, normal lives. Iranian women are fighting back against mandatory hijab laws, even though they face prison and torture. Economic crisis. The economy is collapsing under sanctions. Inflation is out of control. The rial is worthless. Unemployment is high, especially for young people. Khomeini's regime is brittle. It looks strong. Military parades, ballistic missiles, tough talk. But underneath, it's fragile. When Khomeini dies, Iran could explode. Power struggle between factions. Protests in the streets. Regional chaos as Iran-backed groups lose direction. Or maybe the Revolutionary Guard smoothly installs Mojtaba Khomeini and nothing changes. Nobody knows. That's what makes Iran so dangerous right now. Act 6. The IRGC for 35 years. Ali Khamenei has ruled Iran with an iron fist wrapped in religious authority. Under his leadership, Iran has built one of the most powerful militaries in the Middle East, not the most advanced, but capable enough to threaten neighbors and American interests. Created a Shia crescent of influence from Tehran to Beirut, Hezbollah in Lebanon, militias in Iraq, the Assad regime in Syria, Houthis in Yemen, all funded and armed by Iran. Facilities. Developed nuclear technology to the edge of weapons capability. Iran can build a nuclear bomb within months if Khamenei gives the order. Whether he will is the question that keeps Israel and Saudi Arabia awake at night. Sanctions, economic crisis, but at what cost? The Iranian economy is strangled by sanctions. A currency has collapsed. Educated Iranians flee the country if they can. Corruption is endemic. Protests and the Iranian people? Many hate the regime. They don't protest constantly because the Revolutionary Guard will shoot them. But the anger simmers. Khamenei's Twitter speeches. Khamenei himself has become more isolated, more paranoid. He rarely appears in public. When he does, it's highly controlled. He tweets, yes, the supreme leader of Iran tweets, attacking America and Israel. But he doesn't engage with Iranians' real problems. His true legacy? His legacy? He kept the Islamic Republic alive. Khomeini founded it, but Khamenei preserved it through war, protests, sanctions, and internal divisions. But he also trapped Iran in permanent conflict with the West, ruined the economy with corruption and mismanagement, and left Iran isolated internationally. When he dies, Iranians might feel relief or fear, probably both. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, born in 1939 to a poor clerical family, became a revolutionary, survived bombings, served as president, and for 35 years ruled Iran as supreme leader. Iran today, mix of modern and traditional, protests and military. He's outlasted 7 American presidents, survived countless assassination plots, maintained absolute power longer than most dictators dream of. But he's 85, sick. His time is running out. Question mark over Iran's future. When he dies, what happens to Iran? Does the regime survive? Do the people rise up? Does the Revolutionary Guard take over? Does his son inherit power? Nobody knows. Not the CIA, not Mossad, probably not even Khamenei himself. One thing is certain. When Ali Khamenei dies, the Middle East will change? How much? How violently? That's the trillion-dollar question. This was the biography of Ali Khamenei. Student, revolutionary, survivor, supreme leader, and the man whose death might reshape an entire region.